good boy, Bob.
I tell you what, there's nothing quite like a plate of your favourite grub. Our favourite tucker feeds our bodies and souls.
Well, thank you.
That's okay.
So, in this series, I'm celebrating the dishes closest to all our hearts.
Lovely.
I've spoken to some fellow chefs to ask them what dishes they love the most.
Look at that beauty.
It smells delicious.
Trust me, you've got to try it.
I've had a few famous faces round to cook their favourite food for me.
She's in the house.
Hot and spicy here, babe.
Like a bit of spice.
So do I.
Can't concentrate, Ainsley.
And I've been doing some culinary reminiscing of my own, cooking up some of the most treasured recipes I've collected over the years.
Do you like your brownies gooey? Yes, yes, I do.
The result is a collection of wonderful recipes from around the world that I know are going to inspire you to get into your own kitchens, to cook up and spruce up some of your old favourites.
Welcome to the food we love.
The inspiration today is the great British tradition, tea. From beautiful cakes to savoury bakes, the type of food that makes you go, Pop the kettle on. Actor, singer and dancer John Partridge is in my kitchen rustling up a tea time treat, sausage rolls with a quick tomato chutney.
And I promise you, it is going to be the best darn pastry you've ever had in your life. Yes.
Queen of all things baking, Juliet Sear, is combining two favourite tea time staples and creating a layered scone inspired by the Victoria sponge.
And now, the clotted cream. Lashings and lashings, look at that.
The lovely Candice Brown delights us with a gin and tonic drizzle cake. And if that wasn't enough, she's serving it with Rocky Road cookies.
And just look at that beauty.
And I've got a special treat for you with my trio of savoury tarts to round everything off. But first, it's the old king of the dessert trolley. Yes, the ultimate chocolate indulgence. Oh, this is my take on the Black Forest Gâteau. What I'm going to be doing for you is my Black Forest Brownies with Kirsch cream. Oh, wait till you try it. Now, first of all, I've got my chocolate and butter that I've been melting here. Have a look at that. Can you see that? The butter's melted, the chocolate's started to melt a little bit. I've put that over a very, very gentle heat, and we're just going to combine that together. Just stir that round. And at one point, you think it's separated. It's never going to, blend together beautifully. And then the harmony starts to happen, and the beautiful texture starts to blend and shine and everything. Oh, and it really does become incredibly silky and gorgeous. Have a look at that. That's what you're looking for, all right? And then, to that, I'm going to start to add my sugars. I say sugars because I'm using two different types of sugar here. First, I've got 130 grams of soft brown sugar, all of that going in. And then, I've got 130 grams of caster sugar. Now, the reason that I'm using two different types of sugar is that brown sugar gives you a slight toffee taste when it comes to your brownies. Stir that around. Be a little bit patient with it, like when you add sugar to a cup of tea or something like that. It doesn't happen instantly, so you just have to stay there a little bit and just stir that. That's it. Now, what's your favourite tea time treat? All these wonderful things we're talking about today. I love tea time. My mother was a great one for baking. Constantly, having cakes and stuff like that. Used to show off. All the people would come from the church and, oh, hello, Mrs. Harriott. Oh, hello, my dear. And they'd sit down there and she'd take out her scones or whatever she'd baked. And it was lovely. It really does. It's a way of bringing people together. Now, once we've done that, okay, the sugar's gone in there, we can start to add our eggs. One at a time. Just crack your egg. In it goes. There you go. And stir that in like that. And the next one. There you go. Fab. And just beat that in. What I like about this recipe, of course, is that it's just kind of easy. It all happens in the pot. Throw it into your pan, bake it for 15 minutes, add your cherries, back in the oven again, done, really. And that means it's simple to do. Stir that one in. That's it. Actually, I'm going to give that a little bit of a beat now with my beater. It's kind of re-glossed itself again. Yeah? That's beautiful. And then we're going to fold in our flour. That's it, just straight in like that. There you go. There you go. I've got some chocolate chips just to enhance that whole chocolate experience. I put chocolate chips into my brownies too. And we're just going to fold those in. Anyway, a few years ago when I started out as a chef, Black Forest Gâteau was quite popular then. Oh, guys, look at this. And then you just take your mixture and we're just going to pour that into our parchment-lined baking tray here. Look at that. That's it, beautiful. And this is very important. I want you to pay attention to this because we're going to pop that into the oven. That's 180 degrees centigrade for 15 minutes. Then I'm taking it out and then going to position my cherries, then put it back into the oven for another 10 or 15 minutes. Crispy top, gooey middle, absolutely perfect. Whip up your cream, cup of tea, and dream. All right, about time we took those brownies out. Wow, there you go. What you've got to think about now is how big do I want my brownies? I think if we cut those in nines, so very gently, just run your knife like that along there. Okay, can you see that? Just like that. And then the other side like this. Beautiful. And then we take our cherries and we're just going to pop the cherries just inside there like that. Can you see that? Just to kind of break that crust just a little bit. I've taken the stone out of these cherries and you're probably thinking, why didn't you put them in before, Ains? Well, if I did put them in before, they'd sink to the bottom. Just push them in like that. There you go. And then we return those to the oven for another 12, 15 minutes. Keep an eye on them. Still want that little bit of wobble. We want that crustiness on the top there, and they'll be ready to go once they're chilled down. Okay. Okay, now, I promised you'd have a little Kirsch cream to serve with it, because traditionally when you do a Black Forest Gâteau, you know, you've got that lovely cream with a bit of Kirsch going through. A bit of whipping cream. You don't need to do double cream. Get a bit of air in there before you add your sweetness. Then I've got my icing sugar, so we can start to put that in. Can you see me? Hello, I'm still here. Okay, that's it. And then give that a good... Okay, that's just beginning to thicken up now, so we're going to add a little bit of our Kirsch. Quiche Kirsch. Let's call the whole thing. There we are. Just get a splash of that. Lovely. Really coming together now. It's hard work, this, isn't it, eh? God, dear. Anyway, let's transfer that now into our bowl. Beautiful. Just pop that in there like that. Perfect. Look at that. Absolutely lovely. I like that, didn't you? Eh? I love a good old dollop of cream. And I've got my brownies now. Look at these, eh? Wow. Oh, look at this. You can just feel that love. There you go. Beautiful. You can hear, listen. Can you hear that lovely crunch? Oh, gorgeous. Wow. And just look at that lovely goo. Look at that, look, if I squeeze that, you could just see that. Ooh, gorgeous. We do like a little bit of chucky goo. Yes, we too like a little bit of goo. How about you?
Do you like your brownies gooey? Yes, yes, I do.
And then you dust them, and you serve them to your guest. And everyone will come around and say, hey, you make the best brownies yet. I'm delighted to have actor, singer, and dancer is the wonderful John Partridge in my kitchen.
Well, you should be my agent. How about that?
John, great to have you here.
How the devil are you?
I'm really good, actually. Last time I saw you, we were taking our clothes off.
I know, I was
weren't
going to say, I hardly recognised you.
we?
as
I know,
little
the full
booty.
Monty, but it was great, wasn't it?
It really was an overwhelming response and kept that conversation going for me.
Yeah,
You know.
fantastic. Now, what about you and your tea time treats? Is it the time of day that you like to sit down with your partner, have a cuppa and a bit of cake,
I love
or what?
an afternoon tea. I mean, my mum used to love an afternoon tea. There's a place in Bolton, and we always used to go there on a Sunday. There's an antiques fair. My mum loved a knick-knack. So we'd always go and have a look for a little knick-knack, and then we'd stop off for a cream tea afterwards. Love it.
Oh, wonderful. Now, you're a bit of a mean cook yourself. What are you going to be preparing for us today?
You say that to all the boys. But I'm going to be doing my sausage rolls. What else? It's quite easy, actually.
Okay.
It's a wet pastry. Normally when people start making it, they think, I've done something wrong because it is quite wet. But it's really easy to remember. It's 250 grams of flour.
Okay.
250 grams of butter. I cube mine. You want to get that in. If you're going to do it the good old-fashioned way, get your fingers in there. Just mix it all up. Make
Give it a bit of a
fine,
rub.
Yeah, have a little rub.
Okay.
Get a fine breadcrumb going. And then I have a secret ingredient in this pastry, Ainsley.
Do you share that with people? Because a lot of chefs that I work with, they say, I've got a secret ingredient, and they never reveal what it actually is.
Well, I am going to share mine, you know, because I'm feeling in a sharing, caring mood. And mine is Greek yogurt.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
170 grams
Wow.
of Greek yogurt. I say that, my husband is Greek, so I've always got Greek yogurt in the fridge. And
Okay.
We have it breakfast, lunch, and dinner
Okay.
in our house. So I put a little Greek yogurt in there, and what that does is it just gives it a really, it just makes it really wet.
Yeah.
But it also, when you bake it, it makes it really, really, really flaky. All you're going to do is bring all of that together. Once it comes together, you're going to roll it into a ball, and you're going to flatten it into a disc. Because I always find when I put my pastry away, because this pastry, because it's so wet, it needs to chill for 2.5 hours. As you can see, that's come together really quite quickly.
Yeah.
And what happens is, once you flatten that down into a disc, you can see that you've got these lumps of butter, you see they've got the Greek yogurt that's all through it. As you put that in the oven, it just releases all that buttery goodness. I'm telling you.
So you
are gonna
really,
like
it's
it.
a very quick version of a puff pastry, isn't
It's
it?
a very quick version of a puff pastry. And that, now, we're going to wrap that in some cling film.
Okay.
And that's that done. Filling.
Yeah.
Pork mince.
Okay.
Yeah, we got 500 grams of pork mince.
Yeah.
Straight in there. Now, I put a piece of stale bread in here. That's what I normally do. I whack in some breadcrumbs in there because you want that to bring it together,
Yeah,
to give
bind
it
it.
some body. So we put in 1 slice of bread. So here we got 1 teaspoon of dried oregano.
Okay.
Once again. There's a
That's
lot
quite
of-
traditionally Greek too, isn't it?
Once again, there's, you know,
Yeah.
and then I will also put in a teaspoon of French mustard. Now,
Yeah.
you can either use Dijon or you can use the darker version as
Okay.
well. I use both of them. That goes in there too. Then also, I will crack 1 egg into this too, just to bind that all together. And then I'm going to put a bit of a fresh herb in there, although you've got the oregano in there.
Yeah.
I've got fresh herbs growing in my garden. I've got sage and I've got rosemary, so normally I'll put
Perfect.
some
Well, they're
sage.
quite robust herbs, but they're perfect. They really, you know, they give off a lovely flavour, don't they?
Yeah, well, with the pork, isn't it? You want to have something
So
that
who does
goes-
most of the cooking at home? You or your hubby?
Listen, I lived on my own from being 16 years of age. I went into Cats in the West End when I was 16, so I had to learn my way around a saucepan. I guess in the early part of my career, I ate for fuel. I didn't necessarily eat for pleasure. And for somebody who spent the 80s and the 90s in Lycra, I can tell you there wasn't much eating going on. You know, because it shows.
People don't realise the discipline that you have to go through to do that type of job.
I mean, dancers are like athletes. That's what you do, and you have to maintain your body in that way. So we've put that together into a ball. What I do now is I split that into two.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop that one there. I just mould it into my hands, and all we're gonna do now is roll this into two sausages, about 30 centimetres in length.
Yeah.
But I think food, for me, I've found that real connection with it in the sense that it evokes such strong memories. Now, whether that's, you know, your mum's custard, your nan's gravy, your dreadful school dinner that you hated with the skin on top of the rice pudding, it takes you back to that point. And I sort of used food in that way to reconnect with the person I was maybe before life got in the way.
This is what the programme's all about. We just want people to kind of be able to have experience some memories, look back at things, you know, all these wonderful retro dishes. It's all about just sharing memories. So it's great. And you are sharing also quite a few memories in your book tue, aren't you, mate?
I like what you did there.
I know, but you do, but that's what
smooth.
food's all about.
It is. I mean, in some ways, I guess you call my book a food memoir, really, because each recipe, there's over 108 recipes in the book, and they're all attached to a memory. So, you know, we've got the two little sausages here.
Okay.
Now, what you can do, if you want to, is you could wrap those up in cling film, bung them in the fridge for a little bit, while you have a cup of tea, firm it up a little bit.
Okay.
So this one has been chilling. So what I tend to do with this is I will just put my pastry down and I will cut it in half.
Yeah.
I'll cut that one in half. I'll pop that off to the side. Now, one thing about this pastry, oh, she's a thirsty girl.
Yeah. Okay.
She's a thirsty pastry.
Right.
So,
plenty of flour.
So plenty of flour. So listen, we're just going to roll that out. And the thing with the sausage roll, you don't have to do this crazy, easy roll. You can just, it can be a bit wobbly around the edges. You just want to get it out into a nice rectangle, long enough to get your sausage in the centre of it.
Okay.
And what I do, just pick my sausage up, put it here.
Yeah.
I get a little egg wash. I'm going to pop this down this side.
Yeah.
And then we're going to roll it up.
Beautiful.
And that pretty much is it.
That's it? That's what it's all
We
about?
roll it all over.
How long would you cook something like that for, John?
So this, 30 minutes, 180 fan or 200
lovely.
convection. Then I will chop it. 1, 2, 3.
Wow, that's a nice bite, isn't it? That's a good, beautiful, juicy bite.
I get my little tray here. Then I give it a little egg wash. Now, you can put whatever seeds you want on these. You can put some fennel seeds on. You can put some cumin seeds on. But today, I'm going to put on some poppy seeds.
Yeah, funny
Little
stuff.
sprinkle
Beautiful.
of poppy seeds.
Thank you very much.
And then we're gonna
I
put
love
some-
poppy seed, yeah.
And then we put, because we always like two seeds, and then we put some nigella seeds on
Yeah.
as well. But like I say, you can actually do whatever you want. And I promise you, this pastry, it is going to be the best darn pastry you've ever had in your life. We're going to pop these into the oven.
Yeah. And I'm going to pop the kettle on. That is
That's good
fantastic.
to
Clear up, let's
clear
have a
your
cup
mess.
of tea. Smell good.
Yes.
Oh, look at this, eh?
That.
Fabulous. Oh.
Now we're going to just pop one of these out for you. And we've also got a little bit of chutney here.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this.
Keep
Gonna
it
pop
simple,
that
eh?
one on there for you.
Oh, you're a lovely man. Thank you very much indeed.
I'll keep this one for me.
Yeah, let's have a bite of that.
Hit me.
Do you know what? I wouldn't know that that's not puff pastry. It's still so light, still so flaky and lovely, isn't it? So puffy, you know, that butteriness.
It's really light and it's really flaky. Excuse me talking while with my mouth open.
Really, really lovely.
Yes.
Oh. I've got John Partridge, wonderful sausage rolls. I've got a lovely cup of tea, and I've got to say, guess what? There's so many more tea time treats coming your way. Cheers, mate. Now it's time for the lovely Juliet Sear with a real showstopper. Check this out.
I love hosting afternoon tea, it's a real treat, and it's wonderful to impress your guests. I've taken a classic scone recipe, but given it a twist and turned it into an amazing show-stopping centerpiece. So the first thing we need to do is make the scone. In my bowl, I've got some flour, and first of all, I'm going to give it a bit of extra lift with some baking powder, just about half a teaspoon. And just mix that round with my fingers. To that, I'm going to add my butter. It's nice and ice cold because I want to create some breadcrumbs with this. So I'm just going to add it in like that. And then just between my fingertips, just rub it. It's quite fun actually, it's quite satisfying. And just keep doing this for a few minutes until you've got a kind of breadcrumb consistency. And that's going to make sure that our scones are nice and light when they bake. So I've been doing this for a few minutes and that's looking pretty perfect. It's nice and breadcrumby, no big lumps in there. So now I just need to add in my sugar and give it a gentle mix through. So just toss it through. So now I just need to add some milk. And a nice dash of vanilla extract. So I'm just going to bring it together. I'm using a spatula because it's quite sticky. So I'm just going to work that in. Not too much, I don't want to overwork it. I want to keep it as light as I can. So that's ready. Now, this is the twist. I'm going to bake it in two 8-inch cake tins so it creates a layer cake. So I've base and side lined these. I'm just going to divide the dough into roughly 2 equal parts. It is sticky, so I'm just going to put a bit of flour on my surface here. And just dump the whole amount on top of that flour. Goes. And it's quite handy just to put a little bit of flour on your hands. So just separate with your hands and just make sure they're roughly equal, so you might need a bit more in there. So I'm just going to gently put this into a little ball, so just bring it together, just being very light with it. And now I just need to roll it out. There we go. It's quite nice to pat it actually, it's a nice puffy dough. So just gently roll, just very carefully, just lift it up and just swiftly dump it into the first tin. So that's in the tin, and I just need to use my fingers and just push it, just to kind of come almost all the way to the edge, just a few millimetres, because when it bakes, it's going to expand and puff up. So give it a bit of room, just place that to the side and do exactly the same thing for the second layer. So the last thing to do is just glaze the top of each of these with some egg wash. And this is going to give it that lovely golden brown scone effect on the top. Little birdies come to visit me for tea. There, so that's done. They're ready for the oven. So I'm just going to bake these on 180 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes until they're cooked through, risen and golden. Here we go, so both of our scone layers have completely cooled down, so now it's time for the assembly, which is the fun bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is just have a look at them and decide which one I want to be on my top. So I think I'm picking this one to be my top. So I'm just going to shave off a small amount on the top of this one, not too much, so that jam can soak in. And also this is going to help to level it so that we don't have a wonky centerpiece. So pick your stand and then place the first scone layer on. I've got some lovely jam here and I'm just going to spoon that over the base layer. About half a jar is going to go on here, half to 3/4. Spread that evenly over my base layer. And it doesn't matter if it kind of splats out the sides of it, it makes it all the more inviting, I think. And now the clotted cream, the classic for your scone recipe. Lashings and lashings, look at that. What a perfect tea time treat. And now it's time to top it off with the next layer, so on it goes. Look at that, delicious. And there it is, my epic scone layer cake. Perfect centerpiece for your afternoon tea.
Well, Juliet, that was so, so lovely. I love the idea that she put a twist on a Victoria sponge using that scone base, and to start with, all that lovely jam and clotted cream. Was that lovely? I could have eaten it just like that. Brilliant. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I also like to have a little bit of a savoury influence when it comes to tea time, and I think my next recipe is absolutely perfect for that. That is my cheesy chive and bacon muffins. Now, I've got some bacon that I've just cooked off here. You can see that, look at that in the pan, still sizzling. So what I'm going to do in order to eliminate that fat and just keep that lovely bacon is put that on some absorbent kitchen paper, and I'm going to turn off the heat, okay? Just the heat from the pan will be enough to melt the butter. Once you've done that, I've got my flour here and baking powder, couple of teaspoons of baking powder into our flour. Then we're going to take some cornmeal, all right, which is like polenta. I think the only difference here is you get different grades. So if you're a polenta or a cornmeal fan, you will know some can be a little bit coarse or some can be fine. Either one works perfectly with the muffins, all right? And then the sugar. Important to add a little bit of sweetness, all right? That's it. I'm just going to move that bowl aside because I'm going to chop up my chives now for you, all right? Then I'm dragging all of that, like that, into my bowl. We all have different techniques, but I just like that. All right, that goes in there like that. Perfect. Gives that a little bit of a play there. That's beautiful. Lovely. Now, what about that cheese? Let's bring this back up here. I'm not going to put all of my cheese in here. I'm going to keep a little bit of that cheese, and we're going to sprinkle just a touch of that on the top before we put these, or pop them into the oven. Okay, the remainder of that cheese, I'll just pop that down there for now. And let those bacon bits have been draining there. You can see that, we've collected all that oil. Pop that into there too. And then my glass bowl, 1 egg. That's it. And I'm just going to whisk that together. Here's my whisk. Take that milk. Perfect. Lovely. And then the melted butter. All of that, look at that. All of that is going in there, look. There they are. Lovely. That's it. Just mix that through a little bit, and then we can start to mix that and bring our muffin mix together. Nearly there. Touch more. I think that is fine. Don't over mix any of those things. Just kind of falls off the spoon so much easier. That's it. Starts to get a little sticky again. Back into the hot water. Ah, I've got to tell you the smell. Oh, look, I've done it. There's me talking about that. I've got a bit lazy, look. I know what you're thinking. No. And why shouldn't you, eh? But chefs, anybody can make that mistake. There you go. That's it. And those that are looking a little bit light, you can just top them up. But remember, in order to make them extra cheesy, you can just sprinkle a little bit of that cheese on the top there. Just a touch. Look at that. There we are. Hey, absolutely perfect. Let's get those in the oven. That's 200 degrees centigrade, gas mark 6, for about 20-25 minutes until they puff up, lovely and golden. Then we'll take them out and wipe them on the rack. Here you go. I love the way when the cheese melts on these guys and you get kind of that almost two-tone effect happening on the top of your lovely muffins. Just going to pop these on here. Oh, look, there's not enough space for all of them. Wow, snap that in half. Ah, look at that, eh? Isn't that lovely? You can see that bacon, the chives and everything. So, so nice. Can't beat that salty bacon taste, can you? Chives and cheese. It is just the perfect combination. And now Candice Brown puts a naughty twist on a lemon drizzle cake.
So today I am going to be making a lemon and lime gin and tonic drizzle cake. It is fruity, and it's just lovely. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use self-raising flour, then golden caster sugar. Now it's really important to make sure that the butter's quite soft, otherwise you're going to end up with lumps. Okay, then we have got 4 eggs. We then want 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and that just helps give you a really kind of nice light sponge. We're going to zest in 1 lemon and then 1 lime. Okay. And then 50 mils of tonic water. And then finally, because I just think it works so, so lovely with lemon and lime, is a little bit of rosemary. So in goes our finely chopped rosemary. We're just going to blitz that all together until it's really, really nice and smooth and light. My thing is, if it tastes okay raw, it should be all right cooked. It's really lovely because you can already taste the lemon, you can already taste the lime in it. So, in with our cake mix. So once you've got all your mix in, you want to just spread it round. Okay, so just give it a little jiggle. Then that now goes into the oven at 160 for around, I'm going to say 35 to 45 minutes. So while our lovely lemon and lime gin tonic drizzle cake is baking, I'm going to show you how to make the naughtiest, cheekiest, filthiest Rocky Road cookies ever. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop in 125 grams of soft unsalted butter. Along with that, I'm going to go in with 200 grams of soft brown sugar. While that is going on, I'm going to chop all of the stuff that is going in. Dried cranberries, pecans, white chocolate chunks, Oreos, and I'm going with mini marshmallows, but that is not it because we've got a little secret going right in the middle. Okay, so that's been on for a couple of minutes. Now, can you see that has gone really, really pale? It's now light and fluffy, and that's the consistency we wanted. Then we're going to add in 1 egg. Perfect. So our egg's been mixed through. So into that, I am now adding in plain flour, cocoa powder, and that is my drizzle cake. Look at that. That honestly smells just so incredible. So while that cools down ever so slightly before we drizzle, I can finish off my cookies. So I'm going to add in a ½ a teaspoon of baking powder, pinch of salt, now it's really, really important you don't overmix your cookie dough. Now this is where you can literally add whatever you like. Oh my gosh, just look at that. So the size of the cookies, we want to be using about a dessert spoonful. We have got some caramel here, and we've also got some toffees. So a teaspoon, we just want to make sort of a little gap. Oh, goodness me, this looks just delightful. Okay, then we're going to take a little bit more of our cookie mix, and we're going to pop that kind of over the top. And what you want to do is kind of just hide that caramel if you can. And I'm literally going to do the same thing with the toffees. These are going to go into the oven for 10, 12, 14 minutes maximum. Just look at those. I mean, that's pretty much a meal in itself. And now for the drizzle. So, tempting as it is, the gin and the tonic is going into the drizzle. So we're going to put those in together. Then we're going to add in around about 50 grams of caster sugar. Then we want the juice of the lemon and the lime that we zested earlier, so no wastage. Give that a little mix, okay, and then I'm just going to pop that on a medium heat on the hob and let that bubble away. Right, now for the moment of truth. Yes, and as you heard, it did not stick. And just look at that. beauty. What I now need to do is poke some holes into the sponge. So when I drizzle the syrup over, it goes right down and seeps all the way through into that sponge. A little bit fancy, gin and tonic drizzle cake, followed by the very fun and the very, very naughty Rocky Road cookies. Oh, I don't know which one first.
Well, Candice, you really have spoilt us. Not one, but two very indulgent tea time treats there. Thank you very much for that. Lovely. And I've got a couple of ideas here. I'm going down that high tea kind of route. Do you know what I mean? Because quite often it's a little sandwich here and there. But if you want to sort of posh things up a little bit, you want to be just sort of a little bit more, you know, like, she's got tartlets on her menu. That's why I want to do for you my savoury afternoon tea tartlets. Nice combination here, not difficult. And first we're going to be starting off making the pastry. Take your flour, put that into the food processor. Okay, you could do this by hand, of course, but if you've got one of these, and, you know, most of us have, some are in the cupboard. And I've got one egg here. I'm going to crack my egg. And I'm just going to beat that up a little bit. Just going to add a little bit of water to that. It's my way of doing it when I'm making pastry. That's lovely. Now, we're going to start this off. And what we're looking for at this point is the breadcrumb stage. You've heard of that before. All right, then we want to bring that together. So gradually, not all of that, but I'd certainly say about half of that. Okay, and that's looking quite good. And just a little bit more. There we are. All right, and then you can see all I'm doing, taking out that blade, look at that. I just rub that together, and there you have it. There you have your perfect pastry. All right, now, a little bit of flour there. I'm going to do this on the board. I'll turn the board over afterwards. Right, let's just roll this out. There you go. A little bit of flour. So you can see that. Look at that. Can you see? That's the type of thickness that I'm looking for. Then I want to take my cutter, dip that in the flour, and just punch a few of those out. We're just going to pop those in there now like that. Don't be too fancy. Use your fingers just to push them in there like that. All right? Here you go again. A little bit of pricking going on there. Okay, just prick your base. There you go. I sound like a rapper there, don't I? Prick your base, prick your base. When you're making pastry, prick your base, prick your base. That's it. So I'm not even going to look at you. Go away now. Pop those in the fridge first, chill them down, pop them into the oven, and we blind bake those off. Take them out, and we can start filling them. That's the interesting part coming up right now. Look at that. Now, what about the filling for those tartlets? First one I'm going to do here, I've got the salmon with mustard, Dijon mustard and dill. Over here, I'm going to be doing an artichoke with ricotta, lemon and mint. And this one's going to be the tomato, basil and ricotta too. So you've got a combination. Let's start off here with the salmon. You're taking your cream and pouring that into your bowl. 1 egg. That's it. And then to that, a little bit of mustard. Dijon mustard's fine. That's it. Lovely. So simple, isn't it, eh? That's a lovely little creamy mixture there. I'm going to start down here, guys.
taking a little bit of this hot smoked salmon and popping it in there like that, just a little bit. Do you see that? A touch of dill. All right, there you go. Look at that, just a little touch of that. Almost like you're spiking it on the top there, just a little bit. Okay, and then we're just spooning that little bit of that creamy egg custard on the top there like that. That's all right, just keep that in there. There you go. There you go. Beautiful. That's one selection there. Okay, that's the salmon with the dill. Okay, what about another choice that I've got here? Well, we've got some ricotta that I've got here with an egg. Ricotta going into your bowl along with one egg. Just going to bring that together. That's lovely. And then we've got some artichokes. So just chop it up and pop them in there like that. There you go. A little bit of garlic there going inside too. And a touch of lemon zest. Oh, really using my grater today. So glad I got that grater for Christmas. And you do posh it up a little bit. How about popping a little bit of chili flake into this beautiful mixture? And a little bit of mint. Let's just shred some of that up. That's fresh mint. All right, look. There we are. A little bit of mint going in there too. All right, beautiful. Nothing more than that, really. What's really beautiful is all these dishes that I've got here, 10, 12 minutes in the oven for all of these, and they are ready to go. All right, there you go again. Beautiful. That's it. And the tomato one, the tomato, ricotta and basil, same principle. You've got the ricotta with the egg, all right? Chopping up, shredding up some of that basil, like I did with the mint. A little bit of parmesan going in there too. But there we have it, guys. Okay? Look at that, so simple. Let's show you the end result. Here you go. Aren't they nice? All right, I'm going to serve a few of those up and pop those onto a plate. And then I think I'll pop the kettle on again. Hey, right, let's get those out. That one there. That's quite pretty, isn't it? Really, really lovely. And there you have it, my savoury afternoon tea tartlets for that everyday special occasion. What a perfect way it has been to celebrate the nation's most treasured time of the day. Black Forest Brownies with Kirsch cream, a layered scone cake, cheesy chive and bacon muffins, gin and tonic drizzle cake, and my savoury afternoon tea tartlets. What a treat. I don't know about you, I think I fancy another brew. Go on, pop the kettle on. See you soon.